humor in that, as I did, and we are going to have some fun this morning, as we already have, but we're also going to learn. And one of the things I learned, many of you were at the Charlotte conference and last weekend at Level Up, and you heard a man named Jason Dorsey speak. And he is an author and a generational researcher, and I just latched on to the information he was sharing. And one of the big takeaways for me, at least, was that he said we're better together. And he said your organizations will be strongest when you have these 4 generations represented. Okay, so maybe you're thinking to yourself, Debbie, I don't have those 4 generations represented. Well, you know what? That's okay, because like attracts like, and most likely, maybe you have people that look like you. But today we're hoping to broaden your mind a little bit and maybe be encouraged to add some of these generations to your organization. And so if I were you, I would be asking, well, how am I going to do that? And I hope through our panel today that you will learn about a little bit of the how in this. But the first encouragement I will give to you is so basic, and even the newest person in the room, all the way to the veteran, can do this. And it's to create a memory jogger. And a memory jogger is just a list of names. It's not who you think is going to order Juice Plus. And so when you fill out that list of names of 100 people, and yes, if you're over 10 years old and on social media, you know 100 or more people. And so then you're going to evaluate that list, and you'll probably see, oh my gosh, I do have these 4 generations represented. The next step is to get to your upline and to get to work. You're going to make a plan, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And one of the things I will say that when I encourage people to do a memory jogger, I start with the acronym FRANK. Friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and kids, parents. So that's a good start for you there. So before we get started, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Debbie Lynham. I'm the National Marketing Director, and I'm a proud Gen Xer. Now, I didn't know I was a Gen Xer last fall, and in fact, he addressed that when he was describing the Gen Xers. He said, many of you Gen Xers are kind of a lost generation. Like, you don't even know what you're called. And I'm like, that's me. I didn't know what I was called. So the next thing he says about Gen Xers is that you're skeptical. I'm like, I am not skeptical. And the next thing he said, a phrase that maybe some of you, I know I have said, is, I will believe it when I see it. I'm like, I say that. So I knew he was credible. Well, 24 years ago, a very good friend of ours introduced Juice Plus to us. What a big gift. And then 23 years ago, I said yes to joining this mission. And one of the very best gifts, one of the many that we got out of our Juice Plus product, was 2 healthy children. And one of them is with me today and on my team. Luke, will you stand? So, yeah. Keep standing. So Luke's a qualified QSC on our team. Very proud of him for many different reasons, but I love that he's kind of taken a hold of this mission as well. Okay, so now I'm going to take a temperature of the room, not only for the panelists to see, but all of you as well. And so Luke is, let's advance to the next slide, please. So Luke is a Gen Z, and you can see the years for all the generations that are represented here today. So would all the Gen Zs in the room please stand? Okay, great. Okay, so I just want you to look around. Thank you, Gen Zs, and you hang in there. We've got something for you. You've already heard about it this morning. Okay, so now I want the millennials to stand. Okay, a little bit more, all right, wonderful. Okay, look at that. Okay, so then you guys can stay seated, and now I want our Gen Xers, probably a large group. Okay, very good. And then our last but not least, our Boomer Builder generation. Okay, this really wasn't supposed to be a competition, but okay. All right, so I am so excited to present our wonderful panel of rock stars this morning. And so first of all, I'm going to ask them to share their name, their product and business story, and really a vision of why they started this business. So I'm going to start with you, Colby. So give us your short product and business story and a vision of why did you start this business?
Of course. I want to start off by saying thank you for letting me be here. And Gen Zs, we've got some work to do. I think I saw about 4 of us out there, but hopefully today is good for you. So I'm just going to start where it all started with me. When I was 15, I was diagnosed with POTS, and that is postal orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And basically, when you go from seated position to standing, your heart rate races and your blood pressure drops. And it causes severe fatigueness, and I struggled with that for years, and no energy, and my health was just declining. I was in the doctor's office, or I was in the hospital every month, sinus infections. Life was not looking very great at 19 years old, because I'd struggled with POTS and this declining health for so long. And then Juice Plus found me, and I didn't take on hold of it right away like I should have, but it definitely was over time of consistently taking Juice Plus. My symptoms of POTS, my sinus infections, my frequent doctor's visits were put to a halt. I don't longer suffer from any symptoms of POTS to this day. And that's really, it all kind of started as a business. Like when I first realized it was just to help those in my family to get healthier, because I had seen such great success with it. And then I really looked into this business and was like, wait a minute, whoa, there's some money to be made here. And I had really nothing going for my future. Like I couldn't do a normal 9-to-5 job. So this was a way to make a little bit of money, at first. And I noticed that the way this company is set up, the way the business model is made, it's made for us all to succeed. And so that's why I started sharing, that's why I continue to share. And the community is like no other. I feel like with my generation, we're really searching for inclusion and to be involved in something. What better thing to be involved in than helping other people, help people. And so today I'm standing here at 24 years old with the life ahead of me that I never even thought I was gonna have. And I'm super honored and super grateful for this product, this business, and this community, because they have given me everything that I've wanted.
Thank you. Has been a rock star since she came on the scene about 10 years ago, and I was excited to and honored to give my NMD speech about the same time she did in St. Louis. So I'm so excited she's joining us today.
Well, when she said 10 years, that made me feel old. But it is crazy, 10 years goes by so fast. I am Emily Otten. I'm a millennial, so I'm representing the millennials up here. They're actually the most miscast generation, so hopefully I'll bring some light to that by the end of this. But I said yes to Juice Plus when I was 20 years old at the time. In college, I was training for half and full marathons, and I was physically fit. I could run 26 miles, but I was the college student getting sick every 6 to 8 weeks on some type of antibiotic. Kind of accepted it as normal. But just because it's common does not mean that it's normal. So I started to learn inside this community that I could bridge the gap with my nutrition. And so my mom and I got started on the Healthy Starts program. I called her and I said, Mom, I can get my Juice Plus for free if you order. And she said, no. And I said, yes. And I know her and I could both say it was the best yes we've given. And a few months down the road, I saw the vision of what this business could do. At the time, I was working 3 part-time jobs. I was in school full-time, and I just wanted to be able to quit one of my part-time jobs and get more of my time back. But I like to say I gave my second yes about 6 months later when I approached graduation. I graduated with a marketing and advertising degree, and I did not want to go work as an employee. Which is kind of funny because no one in my direct family is entrepreneurs, but I just saw this vision of being able to work for myself, design my own days, and go help others have more time freedom. And I just I like to say I hired myself out of college. So I hired myself. I think my parents thought I was crazy because they didn't really understand network marketing at the time. My mom said, you can do that, but you have to go work full time until you earn, full-time income with Juice Plus. And my parents were divorced, but thankfully my dad lived a mile down the street, and he said, okay, you can do whatever you want. And so I went and lived with my dad. But now my mom's in the back of the room, and I know she can say that 10 years down the road, even a few years down the road, she said you were so right. You really went all into this because you knew everything we've talked about today, the amazing product, the incredible company, and the community. And she said, you are in the right place. It's just incredible. So I'm gonna share a little bit more of my story today, but I am so grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Oh my gosh, yes, so thank you. So Heather Koenig, I have grown to just know and love that it's not just a colleague, but many of you have said it already today, that now you're family. And so I'm so blessed and honored to have Heather as an NMD on my team, so go ahead.
Thank you. I'm excited to be part of this. As she said, my name is Heather Koenig, and I'm proudly representing Gen X. And it's kind of hysterical, I think, that Judy and I, the baby boomer and the Gen Xer, have our note cards, and these two youngins over here have their phones. And by the way, I'm not Colby's font. Their readers on it, so I'm not sure how he just read that. But anyway, my font is a little bit bigger. So I heard about Juice Plus 18 years ago, and at the time, we were a pretty healthy family. I had 3 little boys. We had 3 little boys under the age of 5. And as a dietitian, it made me crazy knowing that they weren't getting the nutrition that they needed each day through the food. And so when I heard about Juice Plus, and I understood that it was a food product, and I understood that there was a lot of great research, I was like, okay, this makes sense. And luckily my husband was on board. And so we just really went ahead and started taking it and signed up to be an affiliate with the company, mostly because we just wanted some money back on our product. I wasn't planning on sharing, but my parents also saw the vision at the time of getting this product in their body, and so we all got started. And honestly, our whole family, although we weren't really sickly, we did all start to experience some wonderful health benefits and some form of physical healing. We went about that way for many, many years, and about 8 years ago, my husband's business unfortunately experienced, some misfortune, and things changed for us. Life was changed greatly, and we needed to look at some other ways to bring in some income. And so that coincided with a Phoenix conference that was in the spring of, I think, 2016. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to go to that conference, and really, I saw a vision there. I had already loved the product, loved the community, but I saw a vision there that I had not seen before, and it really changed my life. And so some of you may have experienced a similar wonderful conference experience. That happens for a lot of people. So on that plane ride home, I had the opportunity to ride home with my upline and friend Debbie, who at the time I didn't know very well, and she really gave me some marching orders. We made a plan, and she said, let's make a list of 100, and I had that list done before we got off the plane, and we set up a plan to move forward. And so I was very teachable. I wanted to know what those next steps were, and I was excited to do them, and so we just focused on that plan. So I would say that Gen Xers value work-life balance, and this business definitely offers that.
Thank you, Heather. Okay, so Judy Toysher is a rock star SSC POB on our team, and she brings the FUN. So, you go, girl.
Okay, they've been picking on me.
Okay.
Well, good morning, and I'm really glad to see so many of you here, and appreciate that you value your health that much, that you spend this kind of time here. I'm Judy Toysher, and really the generation boomer builder on this panel, and actually I'm right at the cusp. I'm a really young builder and a really old boomer. So one of the things about the boomers mainly is that we brought you Elvis. You can applaud that, yes. We brought you the Beatles, all the lonely people, and also the title Dress for Success. And the main thing, Levi jeans. And I notice some of you are still in the trend. But really, they tested me out in a group that I was with. We did the test on which generation you belong to. And I test out as a millennialist because I'm always on my cell phone. So, actually, I'm a retired career hospital nurse, among other things, and a grandma to 12. So, let's talk about boomers being grandparents. 1 in 4 of the boomers among us either are grandparents that are raising grandkids or we will be. My Gen X daughter helped me a lot with that. And like so many, called the boomerang generation, when they come back and live with mom and dad, she did just that. And that gave me the opportunity to be with the darling, adorable, intelligent grandchild, Camila. And so I was helping to raise her. And what I first noticed about her was that she was pretty skinny, and I took her to a pediatrician, and he said she's malnourished. And I really wondered why, but I was growing in my ability to understand why. She was often sick with respiratory infections, ear infections, you name it, high fevers. We ended up in emergency rooms. And she was frequently placed on amoxicillin, and she loved the taste of it. She was also the picky eater. She mainly wanted yellow foods, and really yellow processed foods, which would be like French fries, chicken nuggets, and mac and cheese. And everything else, especially the green things, were thrown off the high chair. She just wouldn't even touch them. So I began to be the frustrated boomer grandparent that was desperately seeking an answer and solution for this little girl's problems. And I really knew that she needed more nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables. She was really good at avoiding all of those things. So I hoped that I could get something into her eventually that would even, in my opinion, save her life. A local booth where I live was providing Juice Plus gummies as samples, and Camila got a hold of them, and she loved them. Hallelujah. And from that point on, she ate her gummies and she went on to better health. And Dan and I, my husband Dan and I, decided that we would go ahead and order the capsules and replace our one-a-day vitamins. Soon after this all happened, I got diagnosed with macular degeneration, which 1 in 2 seniors among us will. And it's the most common cause of blindness in seniors today. Mine was diagnosed with the 10% that they call it wet, or it's actually bleeding capillaries. And it was causing me to lose the vision in my left eye, central vision. I look at you and I only see hair and ears. So, my treatment was every 6 weeks I received a highly expensive, painful shot of a powerful anti-inflammatory into my left eye. And I kept taking my Juice Plus. So, 2 years later, feeling healthier and with a lot more energy, I saw my retinal specialist, and he said, "You are going into remission. You're healing, your eye is healing. What are you doing?" And I said, what did I say? I'm taking Juice Plus. And I was also eating a lot of salads, which I didn't do much of before that. So he advised me, keep doing that.
Thank you, Judy. I think we're gonna hear the last part of that story in a little bit.
Okay.
So I wanna move on to one of the fastest ways that we grow our business is events. And you'll so note the generational differences as we're going through this topic. And so Colby, when you and I had a Zoom call after conference, you had said a word to me that I thought was so funny and that I certainly as a Gen Xer did not know. So what is a Darty? And tell us how you have used events to build your business.
Yeah, so that just still cracks me up about that. For all the older generations in the room, a Darty is a daytime party. And yeah, so simplest as you can be is a daytime party, right? And we love to party in New Orleans. That's one of the things I've learned in this community. We love to party. A Darty is more of a warm weather event, I'm gonna tell you. It's more to be outside. It can definitely be an inside event, but you're gonna have more fun by the pool, outside, maybe with some cocktails and stuff. But, you know, my generation, you wanna relate, right? So events I learned is one of the biggest pillars of our business. You know, we strive and events is how we grow. And so with integrating Darty into an event has been a little challenging, but it's been real exciting to see how my generation likes to come and hang out, just hang out in general, like trying to get away from the word event, because I've noticed that when I tell my generation, hey, we're gonna go have an event, would you come? Oh no, oh no. I'm like, okay, wanna come hang out? Let's get some pizza, let's do some fun things. Oh yeah, sure, no problem, let's come hang out. And so that's been a really good thing, trying to get my generation, you know, involved in to where we can expand their knowledge. And I'm definitely not opposed to doing any, like, you know, the older generation events, because that's how I built my business, was on salad in jars and, you know, smoothie parties, and one simple change is definitely how I started my business, and it attracted every generation but my own. And so definitely now trying to reach into my own generation as well. I'm learning this new kind of lingo at myself of let's just join, have fun, hang out. And one key I can say is when inviting my generation, let them know what they're going to get out of it. I heard that from Jason Dorsey this weekend. Let them know what they're going to get out of it.
So Heather, you've had a lot of success with building your business with events. What's the secret?
Okay. Well, I love events. I love hosting. I've always loved that. And I am very fortunate to have a lot of great friends and team right over here that collaborate with me on a regular basis. And we just have some really great events. The first thing we think about is fun. What kind of event do we want to have that, one, we're going to be excited to invite to, but that people can come and learn something, take away something, enjoy, you know, time with other people. And so we are always thinking about something different, and we love coming up with new and different event ideas and hearing from others on what they're doing, and just finding something that people are going to be excited to come to, like how, you know, getting people out of their house, and that can be difficult, as Jeanette alluded to. And so how can we get people to come to our events, and then you know, oftentimes maybe they get to take something home with them, salads in a jar,